let's not forget about the war in Ukraine, because it is extremely important that we are aware of what is going on. You see, especially for us Africans and black people all around the world. And I'll tell you why. You see, when this war started, many people think, yeah, Russia was the aggressor. Russia was the one that first invaded a sovereign nation, and it's because Putin was, he was an aggressor, he was a dictator, or he is, like the West is calling him, they've called him all kind of names. And that man who I really so much respect, is a man who understands politics and the agenda of the West. Now, let me tell you something. You see, after the Second World War, when the Soviet Union and US rose as the two major world powers, superpowers, you see, so, and you know what that means? When you are in a world where there are two rivals, what's going to be? So that means they will both be fighting for resources, they'll be fighting for authority, they'll be fighting for power, they'll be fighting for, superiority, all those things, right? So when it comes to Africa, because Africa is always the game plan, Africa is always the goal, Africa is always the ultimate, you see, it's a checkmate. Now here's the point. Now when these two these two parties, US and its allies, essentially US and the Soviet Union, they rose as two world powers, then US was thinking, okay, how can I defeat my opponent? How can I defeat my opponent? That was how they established NATO. NATO was established to defeat Russia, because Russia was the main component of the Soviet Union. So the ultimate goal was to defeat Russia. So, but then, Soviet Union, then Russia. So then US established what they call NATO. So NATO was established to defeat Soviet Union and Russia. Now, when NATO was established, you look at all their articles, look at all their rules and regulations, everything is about defeating Russia. You see? Now, they established that treaty, and then they say, okay, look at what they call it, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, if you say North Atlantic, that means all the nations in the northern region of the world, right? Which includes Russia. But the question is, why is Russia not part of NATO? Because Russia was the main agenda, to defeat Russia. So if Russia was the one they want to defeat, or Soviet Union, so why must it be part of it? So look at what the US did. They started bringing in the former Soviet state. They first of all lured the former Soviet Union leader, Gorbachev. They lured him into breaking Soviet states, breaking them down into different components so that they can, drag them one by one into NATO, and then they will now leave Russia alone. And that was what they did over the years. You see, that's one of the things that these West they do. They first of all come divide the house, and then they will now be sneakily bringing in, people that they want to lure into their game plan so that they can destroy whoever they want to destroy. And that was what they did for Russia. Before, there were many agreements, there were many treaties that Russia and the whole Soviet states signed with the West that, okay, there was not going to be an encroachment of NATO into eastern flank. They were not going to come closer to them because, if you say it's Northern Atlantic, then it's supposed to be just maybe some parts or including Russia. But then Russia saw that, okay, the plan was actually to get in the old Soviet states into the camp so that they can now fight together against Russia, because part of their articles is an attack against one is attack against all. So if Russia attacks one nation, then they're going to, fight Russia back together, you see? So it's all planned to defeat Russia. So they had several agreements that there was not going to be any expansion or encroachment of NATO into any of the eastern flank, including the old Soviet states. But what happened? Practically all the old Soviet states have become part of NATO. You see? And now they have done everything, invested so much in Ukraine to make sure Ukraine is also part of NATO. Why? So that they can defeat Russia, because Ukraine is next to Russia. You see? And not just next to Russia, but Ukraine has a lot of advantages in helping them to defeat Russia. You see, what many people do not understand is the uniqueness of Ukraine in how these demons in the West will defeat Russia. This is a very important thing that we need to understand, especially as Africans, because we cannot sit back and be watching how things are going in the world till they will bring the war to our doorstep, or till these demons will come and attack us, and then we'll be like, oh, we don't know what happened. We need to understand what is going on in the world. We need to know the game plan of these demons, and it's very important. Now, here is the point. So, Ukraine is a very strategic nation in how the West is going to defeat Russia. And I tell you what, first of all, the geography, like the fact that Ukraine is close to Russia. Second, how Ukraine is so connected to Russia. You see, if you've lived in Ukraine, I've lived in Ukraine for many years, I understand the dynamics. Look, there's practically no difference between Russians and Ukrainians. Russians marry Ukrainians, Ukrainians marry Russians. Like, they are practically like brothers and sisters. When President Putin was saying that Ukraine is part of their family, they think it's about oppression, they think it's about domination, because that's what the West always want them to think. They always tell them like, oh, Russia is a dictator, Russia is authoritarian. They always want to control you because they want to divide the family, because they want to break them down. Even if you look at the history, of Ukraine and Russia, you see that they are the most connected, they are the most bonded, you see, tribe in the entire Soviet states. And that's very important. Before the capital was moved to Moscow, it was initially in Kiev, Rus. Kiev, Rus was where everything started, which was in Ukraine, the very center of Ukraine. You see? So, historically, Ukraine is well tied to Russia, in which case, if the West should win Ukraine to their side, that will be a major gain for them to defeat Russia. And that has been their major plan over the years. So they've invested so much in Ukraine. Look, before the war started, US invested billions of dollars in Ukraine. I tell you this, they invested so much, including developing biological weapons, so many weapons that they know, okay, when they unleash them, it will help them easily to defeat Russia. And they were secretly building these things in Ukraine. These were things that President Putin was watching closely, and he was seeing how the West was luring Ukraine into their side to make sure that Ukraine joined NATO. And then when Ukraine joins NATO, then it will be easier for them to defeat Russia. And what is the agenda in defeating Russia? Why is it so important for the West to defeat Russia? I explained to you. Now, here is the point. You remember I said after the Second World War, the Soviet Union and US came out as a major superpower in the world. China was nowhere. China just recently developed as a major superpower too. But then China was not, even up to now, we can say Russia stands stronger militarily in terms of experience, in terms of, combatant force, in terms of, the weapons. Russia stands chest to chest to the West in terms of the nuclear weapons. Yes, so Russia is a major force, is a major military force in the world, and this is what the West understand very well. Look, which country has the most nuclear weapons in the world? Which country? Russia. You see, so they are not just people that they can just joke with or say, oh, Russia will just defeat Russia. Russia is not a walkover. You've got to plan very well to defeat Russia. And these are things that they understand. So they want to win Ukraine to their side so that it will be easier for them to defeat Russia. And here is the point. Now, the West, what do they want to do with defeating Russia? Okay, is it just about gaining power and become the superpower in the world or whatever? What is the game plan? I'll tell you. The game plan is Africa. Because yes, the colonial demons in the West, they want to go back with full force to Africa to colonize, not just to colonize now, but to take entire thing that is on the continent, including the people. And then we are going to sit down and be watching what is going on. Africans, black people in the world, you're going to be watching how these demons want to defeat Russia. Because if you look recently how many of these Western African countries, especially those in West Africa, how they've detached from their old colonial states, their colonial master, how they've detached, like most of the Sahel states and some other countries in Africa, how they've detached from their colonial masters, and then they've connected to Russia. But that is making them angry. It's making these colonial demons angry. They're angry that, okay, when we defeat who is your backbone, when we defeat your backbone, then you will run back to us, or it will be easier for us to control you. And that is the thing. So there are many accounts, there are many documents. Look, I've heard several times how, for example, France told two major African countries that, oh, we cannot help you with your security. They are the one causing the security problem in the country. Like Burkina Faso, like Congo, like Republic of Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Those major countries that have mineral resources. France has been the major problem in those countries, bringing security threats, bringing problems, terrorists, all manner of problems in the country, wars. Now, when the leader said, okay, give us weapons so that we can defeat these terrorists, France said, oh, well, what weapons do I have? I don't have any weapons. Go meet Russia. And then they turned to Russia, and Russia came to their rescue. Russia helped them to fight against the terrorists. Now, for France, it's like, okay, Russia is a threat, because why is Russia helping them? So if they cannot help them, the so-called help now, if they cannot help them, then they will run to Russia. It's like, okay, there are two people, and then one is like, okay, I cannot help you. Then you go run to the other one. So the one that you first went to will be angry that you have somebody to help you. That is exactly what is happening with France, with the old colonial states, because Russia is a major competitor. Russia is a major, opponent against the agenda in Africa, and that is the thing. So when you look at all these old, all these former colonial states that even up to now they are still oppressing Africa. You see, France, UK, Germany, many of all these European countries, right? Belgium, all of them, they actually have a major agenda of recolonizing Africa. Because I tell you that for them now, the economy is going down again. The economy is going down. Things are not working the way it was before. And then the way Africans and immigrants are trooping into the country, and it's like they're sapping in the economy, and things are practically going down. So they want to find a way to bring resources, to loot resources again from Africa, to recolonize Africa and put us back under their oppression. But I said that will not happen, because what these demons do not know is that their time is up. Now here's the thing. You see, when Donald Trump entered into power, now guys, oh yes, I'm going to bring war. I'm going to bring end to the war in Ukraine. He thought just like a walkover, like, oh, it's as simple as ABC. He's just gonna come and talk to President Putin because he's his friend. He said he's my friend, so I'm just gonna talk to him, and yeah, they're gonna settle the war, and that is it. So there's not gonna be any problem, right? So that was what Donald Trump thought, that he's going to just end the war in 24 hours. But here's what he doesn't understand. He doesn't know that the colonial demons in the West will not want the war to end until they defeat Russia. Extremely important. You see, Donald Trump do not understand their game plan. He doesn't know the chess these guys are playing. Joe Biden knows what they're doing because he is a veteran, politician. So he knows the game plan. He knows the game plan of the colonial demons in the West to defeat Russia, because ultimately it is to recolonize Africa. So yes, so that was how he started the war, because he wanted them to go on with the plan so that he can defeat Russia. You see? But Donald Trump, he doesn't understand this. He doesn't know what they're doing. He just thought, okay, they are killing people. Let's rescue people that they are killing. Let's bring back, peace. He's talking about peace. He doesn't know that the ones that are running the show behind, they don't want peace. They want oppression. They want to recolonize Africa. They want people to just keep dying, and just for their own gain. Demons. Very important thing. You see, we must not be unaware of all these things that is going on, because if we just do like, oh, it's not our business, oh, I don't care about what is going on, let them keep fighting, let them keep what, it's not my business, it will soon be your business. As a matter of fact, this war has affected the entire world more than any other war in the world, if you understand what I mean. When this war started, you know how many countries were affected in the entire world. You know how many countries were affected, including the European countries themselves. Many people, things practically increased. Inflation rose all over the continent, including many other parts of the world. Africa, of course, we are always the one that bear the brunt of most of all these problems. So yes, things were literally difficult for people. Things were expensive. Life was a lot more difficult, because the price of oil prices rose, the price of goods, items, food, everything rose, because Russia and Ukraine were major part of the food baskets of the world. So yes, when the war started, it affected practically every part of the world. And even more is the agenda of these demons in the West to make sure when Russia is defeated, now they can now face fully Africa and dominate the continent and the people and control everything, all the resources. I tell you that the resources that are in Africa, I always tell people, I say, if and only if my people know how much great Africa is in the entire world. Like, do you know the resources that are in Africa? The resources that are in Africa, just a glimpse of it, that these demons in the West have seen, just a glimpse of this, I'm telling you that is in quadrillion, not in trillions, in quadrillion of dollars, not in trillions. Trillion is an understatement. Quadrillion, if you understand what that means, of dollars. That is the resources that are embedded in the soil of Africa. So these demons, they know all these things, and that's just the tip of an iceberg. That's not even all the things that are there. All the resources we have in Africa, look, it can fill the entire world. It can feed the entire world. Forget about any other part of the world. Africa alone can take care of the entire world. The wealth, the resources. I tell you this, the resources, and they know all these things. So Africa will be the game plan, will be the king in the chessboard that they want to checkmate, will be the king, and in all their pursuits, in everything they are doing, it is to recolonize Africa. I tell you this, never undermine this statement. It is to recolonize Africa. Their game plan. If you see them fighting Russia, it's not because they love Ukraine. You think they love Ukraine, that's why they are fighting Russia, or because the way they will come out and say, oh, Ukraine must gain back its sovereignty, Ukraine must win this war, Ukraine must this, Ukraine must that. See them with their stupid mouth saying nonsense. You think they love Ukraine? They do not love Ukraine. They don't care anything about Ukraine. It is about defeating Russia. They're just using Ukraine as a pawn in their political chessboard. Ukraine is just a pawn, and the president, what's it called, Zelensky, he doesn't know anything. This guy, he doesn't know what they're doing. They're just using him as a tool to attack Russia. And of course, they're gonna give him his own thing. You see how corruption is going on in the country, how his cabinet, because some of them understand what the West is doing. They're just using them, so they are using that time to advantage to loot some funds, embezzle some money, and that's it. So it's all about just get your own money and run away. That's what they're doing, and they give them money, they steal money and run away. You see. And there's still so many corruption scandal going on in the country. So practically, Ukraine is a pawn in their political chess game, and we must not be unaware of all these things going on, because I tell you what, we must now stand our ground. You see, in the spiritual realm, to actually launch an attack over these demons in the West that want to break the backbone of Africa. Because I tell you that among nations in the world, I respect Russia. Like, not just Russia, I respect the people and I respect the leader. Very important. If you've interacted with the Russians, I have had the opportunity to interact with the Russians, to know these people. Like, I tell you that these people are not like the West. It's not because I'm talking about this. It's just to understand these people. Like, they are way different in their mentality, in the way they see things and all that. And that is not even the thing. Like, okay, even if we are not talking about the people, let's talk about the agenda, the game plan. So what I'm talking about is, we must not be quiet on how we are going to launch spiritual attack on these demons that want to defeat Russia. Because yes, like I said, their game plan, it is to recolonize Africa. It is to make sure that many African countries that are now turning towards Russia to get their weapons, to get their military and defense, to make sure they cripple the support, and then they can be able to attack them, they can be able to defeat them, you see. But I said that will not happen. So we must stand our ground spiritually. We must pray with wisdom and direction. That now that we know the game plan of these demons, we must stand in the place of prayer and launch an attack on these demons, that everyone that plan to defeat Russia, they are already a failure. They have already failed in their plans and agenda to defeat Russia. That none of their weapons that they fashion against Russia is going to succeed. None of their agenda is going to prosper over that country. That Russia will always defeat them, and we can see it with all their sanctions, with all of the things that they have done against the country. It's still standing strong. Russia is still standing strong. You see, because whoever supports us, God will support, and whoever is against us, God is going to against. And that's what you're going to see. These guys, they don't know their time is up. These demons in the West, they don't know their time is up. They think, oh, it's just like it's just a business as usual. That's what they're doing, business as usual. They don't understand that their time is up already. That their time is up. Demons in the West don't know that their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. Because all the plans and agenda they think they have for Africa to recolonize the continent, to keep oppressing the people, and you see even up to now, you see what they're doing to our people. You see how they're bringing wars, bringing drugs, bringing all manner of evil to our land. All manner of evil to our land. Destabilization. All of these things. And then you say, oh, let's not talk about these words. Let's face our own business. Let's face our own people. You face your own business, you face your own people. Who is controlling your own people? Who is controlling your leaders? Who is controlling your politicians? Not all these demons in the West. They're not the ones. And then you say, face your business. Which business are you facing if you don't face the cause of your problem? And that's why we must defeat these demons. We must defeat these demons. Because if we do not, look, the way they are going to brutally come to our land, I tell you, you don't want to experience that. You do not want to experience that. That's why we must rise as a people. We must rise as a people and stand our ground and launch a spiritual attack on whoever wants to oppress Africa. Whoever has an agenda to recolonize Africa, we say their plans must fail. They must be destroyed. They must be eliminated. These demons, they must be eliminated. Because I tell you that with the war that is happening in Ukraine, I say these demons, they do not want that war to end until they see the end of Russia. That is their plan. Until they see the end of Russia, they don't want that war to end. They do not want. And it is in the public domain. I mean, when you hear how many of them are talking about it, like, oh, Russia, no. Russia cannot win this war. Russia cannot dictate how this war will end. Russia cannot. They always say Russia cannot. Okay, Russia cannot. Is Russia asking too much when you are encroaching into Russian border to defeat Russia? Russia is going to open his eyes and let you come to his country. Is that what you're saying now? Is that what you're saying now? Because your game plan is to defeat Russia. So as you're coming, so Russia is going to open his eyes and then let you come to his country and come and attack. Is that what you're saying? They say Russia is the aggressor. They are the aggressor. They are the evil ones doing all these things. They are the one perpetuating the war. But they say Russia is the aggressor. Russia is the aggressor. They are the aggressor. They are the demons that always want to come to your territory, bringing wars, bringing division. You see how they divided Russians and Ukrainians? People that are brothers and sisters, you see how they've divided them? Now, Ukrainians, they hate Russians so much. Why? Because of the West. Because of the West. That is the only reason, the way they bring division among us, among our own people. These guys, I said, these are demons. They always bring division anywhere they go. Look at anywhere in the world. They're always dividing people. Always dividing families, dividing unity, dividing communities. That's what they do. Dividing nations. Always dividing people. Demons. We must get rid of these demons in the world. I tell you this. These guys, they always think they are like gods. They are like Lord of Lords, King of Kings. They are the most powerful, the most what? Like, who are these? Who are these mere humans? Who are these mere humans? Mere humans. Humans that when you seize their breath, they are gone, they are dead like animals. Who are these demons? What is this? And then we're just gonna be quiet and be watching, what can we do? We just have to trust God. What are you talking about? Use the power of your words. Use the power in your mouth. You think these guys have power over you? You think you are not made in the image and likeness of God? You think if there's injustice in the world, you don't have power to bring justice to the world? Is that what you're saying now? Or you think God has not given you power to dominate darkness in the world? If you are the light of the world, why are you keeping your light? Why are you hiding your light? Shine your light in the world and let darkness disappear. Why are these demons? You think they are most powerful? Let them bring their power. They will always be destroyed with their powers and whatever thing they think they have. Africa is on its path of progress and development, and nothing will ever stop us. Please, very important things. I'm sending this message across to all my Africans and black people all over the world, that we must not sleep. We must not be quiet about what is going on in Ukraine, about this war. We must not be quiet. We must speak out. We must pray and pray fervently and pray with understanding and revelation. Pray with wisdom and direction. That we must bring these demons in the West, these colonial demons, colonial agents that want to defeat Russia so that they can recolonize Africa. Let's destroy their plans. Let's shatter their plans. Demons. What power do these guys think they have? And they are so arrogant and so stupid. They think they have everything, they can do everything. They do not know one thing, that their time is up. They do not know. They're so dumb and ignorant. They do not know that their time is up. And how we're going to defeat them, how we're going to crush them and eliminate them, they will see. I tell you this, because righteousness will always dominate the world. light will always dominate the world. As long as we are on this planet Earth, as long as light is, as long as God created this heaven and earth, and has given this earth to us, no darkness will prevail where we are. Light will always dominate the world. Africa is on its path of progress and development, and nothing will ever stop us. Please like and share this video. Share, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.